Is Hannah Gagan. I use they, them pronouns, and this is my project of the influence of environmental factors among learners. I'll explore three contexts: the classroom, our schools, and the community, analyze them, and then reflect on them. Just quickly through these, the classroom. I have background experience, just so you know, in teaching a elementary general music classroom, K through 5, and then I had the pleasure of interviewing a third grade teacher from the same school. Really, the main themes in the classroom is building strong, positive relationships interpersonally between students and from teacher to student. That's including students in the learning process, really actively engaging them, making sure what they're learning is relevant to them, and then being a constant communication source to students for their metacognitive skills, in their learning process, but also to involve student families in what's going on in the classroom. Inclusion really is to engage students in interacting with each other, and also learning how to build a small community culture. Cultural relevance is really about making strong teacher to student connections to really have a trusting bonded relationship, and then also leveraging their background prior knowledge. And then communication, this is a big theme that comes up throughout all of it, but just building consistency with families so that they are a part of the classroom culture and growth as well. These reflections really emphasize just positive relationships and supports between all parties is really foundational to creating strong student success. In our schools, this is through the Tempe Elementary District focused. They really have three main ways that they believe that they can effectively serve their students. That's by teaching the whole student or the whole person, not just the student, responding to student and family needs by understanding their demographics and their backgrounds, and then providing those services as well, embedding them into the school day or a part of the school to be able to provide things that families may need. Holistic learning focuses on not just academics, but that is part of it to drive their natural curiosity to things, but also developing them emotionally and socially, and also preparing them to be adults one day, because they're not just going to be fifth graders, they're going to become middle schoolers, then high schoolers, and beyond adult active community members, hopefully. Responsiveness, really just understanding the background for this elementary school that I was a part of. There was a majority of minority students, and it was a Title I school, so this school really understood their student and family needs, where they were coming from, and how that they were able to respond to that when they needed it. Really, that was by their community service outreach things. This is just my favorite one that they've done, but they have really just so many services that they provide. But this walk-up food pantry was something that was just really popular, and wasn't just for the one school, but was for the whole Tempe Elementary District, that they can go and freely get some food to help the food insecurity growth in our schools. Really, Tempe does really well in helping understand that family diversity and cultural contexts, and just where they're at economically speaking, really helps identify how schools can help support and serve these families, and really shows that no matter where you're at, these are going to look different for different families or different schools depending on the community. So being knowledgeable of your community and providing services that actually align with their needs is essential to making sure that they are feeling like they are not only being taken care of, but they are a valued member of the school as well. Community, this really focuses on outward things. This is Tempe Elementary District as a whole, lower income area, but they do have some things nearby that do help support. Really, for the summary of these things, it's about getting community engagement. It's about partnering with businesses, nonprofits, or something to involve themselves in our student growth, and that might be including themselves into the schools or just making their things just more easily accessible. Parent engagement is really important with community themes. It's about encouraging parents to have those outside of the classroom experiences. Sometimes with lower income families that may be really difficult though, so it's really also about making sure that these resources and community things are accessible to students, to make it equitable for everyone to enjoy and be a part of. Community engagement. This is a really fun little example about how some businesses can come to the schools and kind of spark interest for students that maybe don't love the classroom setup, but maybe love something else. This one is construction. I know they had firefighter training for a middle school in the elementary district. Really cool ways to help just engage student creativity and interest. Parent engagement, it's providing opportunities for experiences that are outside of the classroom to give these students something to enjoy and build upon and connect to while they're learning. This is a local park that's nearby that also provides free water park. It's a regular park, but also has a little water park, and that's free to students that are local to that area. Accessibility to resources is really important. One way they do that is by local free things that are outside of the school, but it's also about giving families convenience in their accessibility. And that's where I really think school to community partnerships can really help better serve lower income communities as a hub for things that families may need. This kind of echoes the same thing, is that communities kind of have a responsibility to provide services for the people that are within those communities, and therefore it's a lot easier to do that when there is a good partnership with homes and with schools. With all the context, this really helps emphasize that all three aspects of their microsystem needs to work together in collaboration in order to help student success. While each of them can independently affect student success, what also affects it is their interactions with each other. So making sure that we don't do sorry, double negative. Making sure that we are people that are active community members instead of people that sit on the sidelines, or not in action, but maybe we're bashing heads or creating power dynamics that shouldn't be there. Those things kind of help break apart a student success structure. And so where we can really help this mesosystem is by coming at it as a collaborative effort where all of us are working together for the same goal equally. Corona system, we're all adults that understand that life just happens. We have to be ready for students to change, for their events, either personally or culturally, socially, to change, and for us to be responsive to that and be flexible and observant to those change, and and they will change, but providing those services when they need that. This quote is really, really well written. It really focuses on schools, but I do think it kind of has for all contexts a big impact, where it's really finding how supports between all of these systems can really either help or hinder students. When you're supporting a student, you really focus on the equal collaboration, power sharing. There's relationships that are built on respect and trust. There's cultural awareness, understanding what your community cultural values are, or their backgrounds. Making everything accessible to all of your students, and then providing services that are needed for your community members. Inhibits to the students' education and learning and development is schools, communities, and classrooms that are ignorant to things going on and kind of just live in that ignorance or inaction. They don't really do anything about anything. They just kind of go throughout the lessons just as they should be. Maybe they're butting heads with each other in arguments, or just refusing to change, or just having that really strong I'm the leader, I'm the power head mindset that would pull away from student achievement. What we can do, a lot of these say communicate in a bunch of different ways. Multimodal, just by doing it in so many different ways, being consistent in our communication beyond what's required, and really coming at them with a collaborative approach. Offering support potentially when, even if it's not asked, but if you're noticing that there's a need. Finding different ways to make things and classes and communications more accessible, and by advocating for partnerships with teams that can really help fulfill student needs where you notice that there's a lack. So really, interactions with these structures are really important to have a combined web effect. It's really about collaborating and working as a team across all these spheres to really help the student feel supported. Forwardly, I'd really like to dedicate myself to be a leader in creating a place that students feel safe and welcome. And no matter where I'm at, I want to feel empowered as an educator to lead the way. So if there's not something in place that ought to be in place, I'm going to be the one to advocate for it. I'm going to be a strong communicator and really create strong cultural norms in the classroom, and outside of the classroom in my communication styles. Really, this boils down to being a strong relationship builder. And that means that if I want a safe space in my classroom, I need to help create a safe space in my community, in my school. And that means by building relationships with the students, the families, and the community members and other professionals in my life. In the classroom, I can build those positive relationships with students and create a strong class culture that's responsive and restorative. In the school, it's about assisting in communication and echoing services or other things that are going on that I think that my students and families could benefit from, but also advocating for programs to be put into the schools that may be a little bit more accessible for students to receive if they're in the classroom or at the school. And then in the community, not just actively participating in that community, but also getting to know the community, knowing the services and what's free and available to people so that I could offer those as options, and then partnering with potential outside programs that haven't partnered with schools before to get them involved in the process of developing these young minds to be fully well-rounded humans. Really, the main things are create a good communication line, be active advocate and participant, and to be helpful and caring, and engaging with your students, your families, and your community at large. Thanks for listening to my presentation.